Saoirse Cleave a chuirde agus a camradí. Today has been May the 1st, 2024. Before me here is the gorgeous figure of the Morrigan. Absolutely beautiful, the goddess of war in Irish Celtic culture. Now, to some people this is Bealtaine, the 1st of May, which is an old pagan festival to bring in the better weather for the crops and so on in old pagan society. It's often been appropriated by colonisers and called Bealtaine. Now, I'm not going to be some gatekeeping fucker. It's, people want to embrace old Celtic cultures, that's fine, but beware, please be mindful of cultural appropriation and stop butchering the Irish language. It's not pronounced Bealtaine, it's Bealtaine, or you can say Bealtaine, depending on your dialect. Now, a lot of these kind of hippie types, mostly middle-class white British people or Americans, are going about how much they're into Wicca. I mean, whatever. No harm to people who do this innocuously and harmlessly. That I'm not going to be mean to any of them. I know people who are into that, and just please don't think this is an attack on yous lot. I hope not, anyway. What I am talking about is culture-stealing fuckers, the same kind of people who dress up as little Indians, as in First Nation people in the United States on Halloween, thinking it's perfectly fine to steal and butcher their culture. You wonder why these people get pissed off. There's your answer. Same with us. They also complain about St. Patrick's Day being used as this kind of like celebration of Christianity and the genocide of pagans. If you're a Wiccan and a pagan, you're not systematically oppressed religiously. You're just not. I'm sorry, but you're not. You're not a Muslim. You're not Jewish. You don't get bricks put through your windows for having the wrong religion. You're not a Catholic who gets called a terrorist and has, and at least when I was a child, MI5, not MI6, and a special branch would systematically tap your phones, especially when you were calling back home in Ireland. Anyway, so pleased with this, we're being persecuted for being pagans. Another thing, a history lesson I think you really need to learn is that the Celtic pagans actually lived side by side with the Celtic Christians after St. Patrick came along and supposedly chased out the snakes and all that, which is a complete load of nonsense. So it was only really in the 12th century when the only ever English pope in history basically sponsored, or should I say ordered, the Norman settlers in England to go and invade Ireland. This happened in 1168-69 sort of time, so it's 857 fucking years we've had those bastards. So please stop telling us to not commemorate or celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Yes, it's a load of bollocks. It's a load of commercialised shite. But don't come at us with that kind of crap. That is so fucking condescending. No, anyway. But if you want to, I'm not going to be some churlish gatekeeping fucker saying, you can't do that. By all means do. I'm very much an internationalist and I'm inclusive, and I am not an ethno-nationalist by any stretch of the imagination. But please be mindful of that. Okay? Anyway, have a good one or I hope you've had a good one. If it's kind of late, it's late in the evening here, but if it's still light daylight, or very broad daylight in the western side of the world, I hope you're having a grand one over there. Please keep up this sort of thing and stop right-wing Christians ruining it for everybody, eh? Now, that brings me on to the next thing of May the 1st, International Workers' Day. Now, as I say, this gorgeous... Isn't she divine? Well, she is a deity, so yes, of course she's divine. This gorgeous deity here, being the goddess of war, I think that's kind of apt as well, because, well, in this dystopian hellscape we're living, known as late-stage capitalism, the dying and decaying stages of this epoch, we're seeing more and more war, not least class war against the poorest of the working class. Even the more middle-class people are starting to feel the bite now. We're seeing it all the time. Protest is becoming more criminalised. Striking against wage cuts is becoming more, well, they're clamping down on that, so they're effectively criminalising that too. They're already criminalising homeless people and travellers and Roma people. They're also trying to conflate anti-fascism with lunatic extremism. How fucking right-wing are we going? How right-wing are we going when we're actually labelling anti-fascism as an extremist ideology? Do you know what fascism is? It is basically an apocalyptic death cult based on conspiracy theories, racism and genocidal hate, which believes in rebuilding some weird notion of what a nation once was through violence and extreme aggression and an absolute authoritarian police state. That is what fascism is. In a nutshell, it's more complicated than just that, but that's a basic thing. So to be against that, violence and genocidal hatred, means you are an extremist? Well, thanks for the compliment is all I can say. Fuck you. Or to do it the more UK and Irish version. It just goes to show how desperate they are. So, on a plus side, take heart from that. If they're using this kind of like extreme violent backlash against you, that means that they're scared. So don't let them beat you down. Use this opportunity to organise, because we need it. They are criminalising us even more. I mean, they're trying to conflate anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism, which is about as dishonest and disgustingly offensive as they can be. They're trying to criminalise the slogan "From the river to the sea" as an anti-Semitic hate slogan. I mean, there's Jewish people saying it as well, you stupid bastards. Holocaust survivors and the descendants of Holocaust survivors are coming out to condemn this appalling colonial outpost and apartheid fascist state known as, well, we'll call it "isn't real" for the sake of not getting banned off social media. So you can't pull that one over on us anymore. Apart from the fact that believing in the genocide of Palestinians and just justifying that is an anti-Semitic act in itself, because apart from anything else, the Palestinians are a Semitic people. And also supporting Zionism and shoving all the Jewish people over to that colonial outpost to become your lackeys, as you're trying to make them into, isn't that an act of isn't that a genocidal act of anti-Semitism? I'm just saying, like. Now, in the United States, should I call it Turtle Island, the middle part known as the United States, there are 3 instances I can name off the top of my head. In Arizona, New York and Los Angeles, university campuses, I've seen videos of it happening, are being attacked by police for peaceful protesters supporting Palestine and coming out in solidarity, because they're fucking human beings, coming out in solidarity with Palestinian people who are systematically being brutally murdered in their thousands and millions and being displaced by the isn't real war machine. This reminds me of 1970 Kent State University, where students were gunned down and murdered by, I think it was National Guard or police, but either way, state forces for protesting against the violent genocidal invasion by the United States of Vietnam. Now, 54 years later, we haven't seen anyone killed yet. I hope to Christ we don't, but we're seeing police going in baton charges, tear gas, and attacking through extreme brute force college students. They're doing the same to working class people. They murder black people on a daily basis in the United States. Over in this country, they haven't got as many guns. Well, they haven't got guns at all most of the time, but they still beat the shit out of poor people. They persecute homeless people. They kick squatters out of places that are supposed. They make squatting illegal. I mean, I could go on. So this level of brutality shows that the bastards are scared. They're in the extreme crisis. So don't let them beat you down. Rise up, fight back against the bastards, and all I can say is organise. I mean, I'm not doing much at the minute because of my health problems, but I've been involved in the past, so I can say, please, for fuck's sake, support each other and don't bicker about sectarianism, about historical events that happened 100 fucking years ago. This is stupid. We need to fight back against the capitalist epoch. So all I can say is happy International Workers' Day, happy Bealtaine, Chucky Arlaw, Saoirse Gajo, Slán go Fóill agus Canary and Bóthar Liv Galéir. Red salute. And I will now leave you with the gorgeous Morrigan. Slán go Fóill.